Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's tutorial, you're going to learn how to cut out stamped images using your Brother ScanNCut SDX125. I'm excited to show you this stamp set that came out in our catalog June 2019. It's a stamp set by Stampin Up. Okay, and I'll have a link to where you can get this really cute stamp set. The reason I'm choosing this for this tutorial is because they're really well-defined lines and there's lots of contrast between the stamped image and the background, and so these are really easy to scan and cut. Also, I scanned and cut them with my other model of machine. I knew it would work, and that's why I embarked upon this particular project to show you. All right, so my mat's loading now. I'm excited about that. Let's just jump right into it. When you turn on your machine, you're going to see pattern and scan. Let's go ahead and load the mat, and then I can bring my machine closer to you. Okay, this is the mat loading button. It looks like a little grid. Okay, and I'm just going to press that, and my new mat is loading like a charm. We are happy about that. And I went through a lot to get to this point. So now I can bring my machine closer to you. I just wanted you to all witness that beautiful loading mat scene. All right, so when you turn on your machine, you see pattern and scan. You're going to select scan because that's what we're doing. We are scanning and cutting stamped images, okay? Scanning and cutting, so you select scan. We're going to select direct cut because we're going to directly cut out the images. We're not going to save them, okay? So this is asking, next it's asking you, do you want to store them on your machine or on your computer, or in the cloud, meaning your Brother Canvas workspace? Well, as you can see, that's not hooked up yet because this just flashes and my wireless doesn't connect, but that's okay. We're just going to say store to the machine. It's probably better anyway because it's really just temporary storage. It's not really saving the data. It's just storing the data. So I'm going to select machine. This is asking what mode. Whenever you have well-defined stamped images like these here, then you're just going to select black and white recognition mode. Okay, I leave it at that. It's already on black and white by default. All right. Also in here, so you see where it says scanning area? This is something new to this particular machine or this model. It's called like a half scan. Okay, so instead of scanning the entire 12 by 12 paper, you can just scan the top part. And that's what I'm going to do. It just saves a little bit of time, so it's a half scan, 12 by 6. Okay, that's right where you change your color recognition mode to, or black and white mode. That's where you change the scan area. Remember to change it back to 12 by 12 later. All right, so prior to this tutorial, I have gone ahead and stamped the cows. Okay, I stamped them onto Whisper White cardstock using Memento black ink because I'm going to be doing some coloring with the blends. I have lots of bonuses for you in this tutorial. You're going to not only get to see these stamped images cut out, you're going to get to see how to create different offsets on the images to create borders and patterns, and you're also going to see the final projects I created. Okay, and watch me create a project. All right, so you never know what you're going to see in my videos, so that's why I like to show the gems at the end of the things I created using the stamped images. I mean, why cut out stamped images when I'm not going to show you what I create with them? That's the whole point of cutting them out, is making things with them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I just stuck those to the mat. My mat's very sticky. All I did was slap them onto the mat. Okay, I'm going to say start. It's going to scan the top half of my mat, and that's where I put them. All right, it's saying put the scanner position to level 2. I don't know why, it's just a piece of Whisper White cardstock, but we're going to go ahead and say okay. Why? Because the paper curled up a little on the edge. I'm just pushing that back down. I'm just saying start. Really, this shouldn't even be scanner position level 2 because really, it's just a piece of Whisper White cardstock, but my machine has a mind of its own. All right, so now that I've scanned in the images, and this is my scanning area, I have the cows up there, and we're going to say okay. So I could like delete these out manually, all these extra lines, but there's no sense in doing that because I can instead take this rectangle and select the area I want, like that. And that automatically gets rid of all those unwanted lines that got scanned in. Okay, also, the other way to get rid of them, I'm not sure if that's a speck on my screen. Nope. It's not a speck on my screen, it's a speck on the mat. So let's say ignore object size. Now the little moons are pretty small. So I want to cut out the moons. I don't want to like ignore them. I don't know. They're only like, we don't want to ignore like, let's say 1/2 inch. Okay, we want to ignore specks that are like 1/2 inch, but not the moon itself. Because if you ignore objects that are too big, you'll start ignoring the very things that you're trying to scan in. All right, so let's say that and see if we got rid of all the unwanted bits. Okay, and it looks like we did. We're going to say okay. And if you have another model machine, you should be able to follow along, but I will still continue to do tutorials on the CM350 or ScanNCut 2. Just this tutorial for today is about the Brother ScanNCut SDX125. All right, so now that I've said okay and I got rid of objects, I still need to get rid of that one crosshair because this was a paper that I used for alignment earlier. See that little crosshair up at the top? I'm going to go ahead and say edit, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. See, I'm selecting it, and I'm going to hit the trash can. Okay, so we say okay. So now I've got rid of anything I don't want. I have all my cows, but I need the offset. I need the outline distance. Go into the outline distance, and for this particular example, we're going to do 0.04. Okay, this is the first cut. First cut is the deepest. All right, let's say okay. Let's say okay. Now, we're going to select cut. Okay, cut, and we're going to say okay. So now, what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the stamped images. Okay, so a couple things I like about my new machine is that it's pretty quiet. Okay, in the past, I couldn't even talk to you while it was cutting. I mean, I did, and then you all got annoyed, and you're like, the machine's too loud. So it's supposed to be called like whisper quiet technology. And that's probably because the machine's pretty heavy. That's why it's not making as much noise. And the other thing I like about it is the auto blade technology. So if you're watching along and you have like a CM350, you would have had to set your blade depth at that moment. And so at that point, I would say whisper white cardstock that you should use, and regular whisper white, not the thick one. You know, you could use a blade depth of 4 for that, and it would have cut just fine. But because I have an auto blade technology, I didn't need to actually set my blade depth. Okay, it's doing pretty good. Not quite aligned the way I wanted, and I told my crafty friends I would tally up. Those of you that follow the other videos on my channel, I said, I want to see how many times my new mat has loaded and how many times I've aligned it. Okay, so as of just now, here's my little tally. New mat. This is the 5th. I loaded it for the 5th time because I did the last video, and then I did it a couple times between videos, and I've aligned it 3 times. Okay, and so the reason I'm showing you that is because it's still quite not aligned, and it keeps saying it is, and it keeps adjusting, but I can tell right now it's not quite perfectly aligned. But I mean, I'm okay with it. Yours might come out better. Either way, it's not quite right. Okay, let's say okay. Now, important step here is, because I'm going to show you a trick, is not to actually remove your paper from the mat. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt my camera down. Wait, I'm going to go ahead and tilt it. See? Okay, I'm not going to remove my paper, and here's why. Okay, I'm leaving my cardstock because I'm going to show you one of the tips. Now, this is one of those new mats, so it's kind of sticky. I mean, kind of sticky. It's like I've only used it 5 times. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to peel, and even some of my whisper white is sticking on the mat. So I'm going to have to get that off. It's just going to take me a second. And I have a little spatula. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the cows and show you. And then I want to show you my trick. Okay, so it's like, be happy when you do have a sticky mat, because it won't last long, but you know, we're happy. I'm happy that right now it's sticky, even though it's a little too sticky, but that's only going to last for maybe, 10 cuts. Now here's what I'm talking about. I've aligned it 4 times, and it's still quite not exactly right, meaning there's more white space on the left side than the right side. It's almost like between uses, and I only moved the machine like maybe 2 inches on my table. It's almost like I have to align it again between uses. Because when I made the samples for this video, just actually 2 cuts ago, all I did was cut the cows. Let me scrape my mat while I'm talking to you. All I did last video was cut the cows and cut the card bases. That was it. And the little bookmarks I make. That's all I did, and already it became like misaligned. And you shouldn't have to align it between every set of cuts. But I'm still happy with this, and it did a pretty good job. So, let's put these little cows there for you to look at. Super, super cute. While I'm kind of scraping them out a little bit. Okay, here's my 3 kinds of cows. And then there's lots of cute sentiments that go with these cows. And the sentiment that I'm choosing to use today is called "Cows It Going." Cows it going. And then there's other cute sentiments like, you're utterly fantastic. Okay, and I'm over the moon for you with the moo. Okay, and what else we have? I know there's one more. Oh, dream big. Dream big, because there's like, this cow looks like he's dreaming. It has a little thought cloud. All right, good enough. I mean, it's not really good enough. There's still a little bit of paper stuck on there. Let me get my little moon. All right, but enough for me to show you the next step, okay? So I had to kind of scrape the paper off my mat. See, there's still a little bit stuck on there, but it's enough for my Designer Series paper to stick. All right, so the reason I told you not to take the mat out was because of this. Here's a trick I can show you. So now you're going to take a piece of, well, let's just take move these out of the way. And so I'm using, for this project, I've chosen to use what's called Perennial Essence. Perennial Essence Designer Series paper is great for backgrounds. It has lots of floral patterns and lots of like semi-grassy patterns. So I thought, this is great. So I'm going to use a piece of this. I'm going to stick this paper in there on this side. I want the green side. I want the green side up. It's important to put the side up that you want. Okay, so what they're going to go, this is a cool thing you can do with your cows. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to go back. I'm hitting back. Okay, now all I'm doing is hit the back button and I go to this outline distance and I'm changing it to 0.08. There's a reason for it. It'll be revealed. Say okay. Say okay. And now I'm just going to cut these again. I'm cutting a bigger background. Select cut. Okay, so when you stamp the images in the first place, let's go ahead and start that and I'll talk about this. It's going to go ahead and cut these. When I stamp these onto my paper, I left a little distance between them. So don't stamp them too close together, because later you want an outline distance. And then if you replace this with Designer Series paper, you want another outline distance even bigger. So you need to leave a little space between your stamped images for this effect to work. All right, so in the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper stack, I've used these before with my cow projects. There's lots of flowers, nice backgrounds, go good with cows. But I like this paper too, because this reminds me of like a space scene. So I've done some over the moon cow projects in the past with my ScanNCut before on my YouTube channel. I'll try to link to that video. And this is the background I use for that. So it's kind of like a spacey design. Okay, the coordinating colors for Perennial Essence Designer Series paper by Stampin Up. Let me focus in there. Balmy Blue, Blackberry Bliss, Blueberry Bushel, Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Petal Pink, So Saffron, and Whisper White. The reason I tell you the coordinating colors is because I made specific design decisions on these cards and bookmark I'm going to show you based on the coordinating colors of the Designer Series paper that I'm using. I always make decisions because Stampin' Up! Has already figured out which colors go well together, and I trust them, and they have great color coordination, all of our products. I'm going to say okay. Okay, now I can unload the mat. Well, let's just test. Yes, I can. I can unload the mat. Okay, now, because you can unload the mat now because you're done cutting both the stamped images and the offset. Check this out. Okay, this is a question I get asked a lot of the times by my viewers, is I want to make, backgrounds. Okay, let's party till the cows come home. That was the other sentiment I was trying to think of a minute ago. All right, so actually this stamp set comes with 5 cool sentiments. Party till the cows come home. Okay, let's tilt this down. Let's tilt my camera down so you can see me create these projects in better detail. All right, so now what we have stamped images that I had to practically pry off the mat. And then we have these offsets. Okay, so look at this. How cool is that? Here, let's just peel it off. Here, let's peel the little cow. Little Mr. Cow with the horns. So now you have your cow, and you had your offset, which made it white around the outside of your stamped image. And then you have another one that was so the first one was 0.04 and the next one was 0.08, and you could just keep going and layering and layering and layering. You can't do that with metal dies, can you? Not only that, this set of stamps doesn't come with metal dies. I usually, even though I have a ScanNCut, I like to get the metal dies because I like to do embossing and other things with them. But there we go. Okay, so let's peel the cows off and we have our backgrounds. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. I'm not showing you my projects yet because we're going to just make one, or we're going to color a cow. Whoa, what got in there? Oh, my storage. When you shut your storage, you have to make sure your thumb drive is not in there. All right, so let's put this mat over. Let's put the mat away over here. And so I like to color with my Blends markers because, and that was the reason I stamped in Memento black ink. All right. So let's get this cow. This cow will be easy to color, and this is my girl cow because this is my boy cow. He's handing flowers to the girl cow. So I'm gonna take Flirty Flamingo. Our blends come in 2 colors of each. They come in a set of 2. So Flirty Flamingo, I'm using the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm gonna color in the udders of the cow. Okay, I just want you to see how I do my projects and like not miss any steps, even though I already have some put together for you. Okay, and then we're going to take this. This is what's called like it's like an ivory. Yeah, ivory is just like one of our main colors. Like if you get ivory and bronze, you have your skin tones. I think ivory works good for just, you know, this front of the cow here. This little, what do you call this? Nostrils. His little face. I mean, use whatever colors you want, and you can use regular Stampin' markers as well. All right, Flirty Flamingo, I'm going to use the Flirty Flamingo Dark for the little nostrils. Or you can use whatever you want. I'm going to use Smoky Slate. Okay, I have Smoky Slate, light and dark. I don't really need to even blend them. I mean, you could blend the colors, but these sections are too small. I'm just coloring them solid. So you got some little hooves, the little cow hooves, making those a little darker. Make his hair a little darker. Whenever you mess up when you're coloring with the blends, there's something called a color lifter pen. And you see how I just messed up that hooves, whatever, okay? I could take my color blend, I can take this pen, and I can lift the color off, okay? These are alcohol markers. It might take a while, okay, for that color to dissolve, and I might have to do it a few times, but it does lift the color. It's kind of magical. I call it my magic pen. All right, then I'm gonna take, so I already did the dark Smoky Slate, and now I'm gonna take the light Smoky Slate, and I'm gonna color in these dots. And I told you this is my girl cow. So he has little spots. Okay. These alcohol blends make you feel like an artist even if you're not, because the ink goes on smoothly. And I was just using the color lifter. Have that close by. Every marker has a thin side and a thick side. I will link in the description to all the products I'm using. In case you want to create this exact project, we have lots of specials going on this month at Stampin' Up. We have Dollar Days, where if you spend $50, you get a $5 coupon for next month. And for the next 2 months, we have a sign-up special. For $99 and free shipping, you will get $155 worth of items of your choice by Stampin' Up. And that is all for only $99 and free shipping. And that's only going on right now in July and August. All right, so there goes my papers, there goes my things. Let's find a cow to put, let's find a background. So now you're going to use dimensionals or foam adhesives. You're going to attach the cow. I'm just using some foam adhesives I have. I'm using bigger ones than my Stampin' Dimensionals. But we do sell Stampin' Dimensionals, and I only have little tiny ones right now, so I'm not using them right now. And I'm sticking the cow on there. So use whatever you have, it doesn't matter. But the next part is so cool. So now I can stick, all right, I got a cow. Okay, I can take all pieces I've cut out with my ScanNCut. I have a piece of 5 1/4 by 2 inch cardstock. Okay. And I have a piece of 1.75 by 5 1/4 cardstock, okay? So this is Perennial Essence again, Perennial Essence. I'm just gonna go like that. My flowers are facing up, but it really doesn't matter. It would have probably looked cool with the flowers facing down. I'm going to put these together, but don't put the adhesive on them yet. Don't gunk up your punch. The punch, this punch, so you can see it better, is Delightful Tag Topper Punch. Don't gunk up your punch with glue. Don't put adhesive on there yet. First punch the two shapes and make sure they're together. Okay, so I'm just lining them up. I like to have a border around, when I make bookmarks, I like to have a little border around the side. Okay, punch those. Now you have this. Now we're gonna adhere that with some, let's see what I have. I have a couple adhesives. I always have a couple adhesives on hand because you never know. We'll try to use the Snail, but if I run out, I have some fast fuse. But this is Snail adhesive, it's rolling adhesive. Let's make sure there's some on there. Yay, it's on there. Okay, good. Use any double-sided adhesive you have because you want it to be flush, meaning you want it to stick onto the bookmark. And you do the top first so you can center it like so, and then you kind of keep your hand like this on the bottom, and then you kind of attach them both at once. And if you can rip, sometimes the glue is forgiving if you rip it off real quick, but after that it dries permanent, and like in just a minute it's permanent, and you can never get these two pieces of paper apart from each other. All right, so I told you the coordinating colors for a reason. Whenever you know your coordinating colors, you can get coordinating ribbons and things. Let's find the stamp set. How I measure my ribbon. I go like this, over the moon. I go at an angle along my stamp set. This is how much ribbon I put on my bookmarks. About that much. Okay, so I just go like that, cut it at an angle. Okay, let's see. It's weird doing things with the you have to do it for the camera, and then it's a little bit harder. So let's just cut this at an angle. And if it gets frayed, you cut it again. Frayed not. Okay. There we go. Now you're going to take that and you'll put it on your bookmark. I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm going to twist it. I'm going to go like that. Okay. This is called, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you the name of it. Organdy striped ribbon, organdy striped ribbon. Petal Pink. So this is something from our new catalog. Petal Pink, organdy striped ribbon. Yay for more ribbons. I love ribbons in our catalog. And then you're going to go like this, and you push it through. And then you got to pull, and it gets a little frayed, and then you can just cut. You can trim it again if it does. Okay. This ribbon really is easy to work with though, because you can sort of twist it a little bit and make it bend to your will. Okay, so then you can sort of see this side wants to be on top now. It just, you let whatever side wants to be on top, you let it be on top, even though I like to have these cut in the same direction. So I'd probably trim that so that they would be cut in the same direction. But it doesn't really matter because it's still cute. All right, so there we go. Now we got the ribbon onto our bookmark. And now we take our cowl. And I get what's called a wobble spring. I will link to my wobble springs. I use big wobble springs. I think these are actually cheaper to buy than my small wobble springs. And so I was like thinking, how am I going to fit this on there without, so the reason I put that extra offset was, my original reason, not only because it looks cute, but because it hides my wobble spring. Hey, how about that? The wobble springs fit on the cows. Before this, they fit on the dragons in the mystical set we had. And they fit on a lot of things I have. I haven't tried them on the dinosaurs yet, but I'm sure the small ones are going to fit on my dinosaurs, if not the large ones in the other suite. The little ones fit on the piggies. I'm always wobbling things. I've been at this for years. It just makes your objects 3D. Okay, so I put the wobble. Actually, it doesn't matter if you put, it doesn't really matter if you put the heavy side onto the object or the heavy side onto the bottom, but it just whatever floats your boat. Okay, but it'll wobble either way. I'm going to stick him here. I'm going to stick the cow there. And now we have a wobbling cow bookmark. Okay, what do I do with these? And I still have a sentiment to put on it. Let me get my stickers. When my customers order something and I want to send them a thank you, or someone joins my team and I'm trying to send them a survival kit, or I make samples that I send out. That's what I do. So I put this on the back saying where you get this stamp set in the annual catalog. Okay, and where you find it, if they get a catalog from me, then they know where to find this and where I made it from. Okay, so that's what I do. They're product samples, but they're also a bookmark. So how cool is that? So I'll show you my other projects, but first let's put the sentiment on there. I got these dies. Oh, I'm out of dimensionals. How could I be out of dimensionals? I got these dies from this, Come Sail Away suite. I knew I had dimensionals. I just have the really tiny ones. They will work fine for this sentiment. So I'm going to put cows at going. I don't want the cows at going to wobble because it doesn't need to wobble. It's just cows at going. So I'm choosing tiny. These are called mini Stampin' Dimensionals. You peel the little backs off. All right, so cows at going. Voila. Let's put a piece of paper down so my background is not so busy. And here we go. We're going to put this piece of paper down so you can see my other projects. Make some room. All right. So back to this. I didn't want to leave you hanging with this thought. This die here comes from the Come Sail Away suite. There are dies that go with that suite. So if you watch my other video on 40 projects you can make with the Come Sail Away suite, I showed this die. Well, I didn't show that die. It was missing at the time. And if I have the dies here, I could show you. Yes, I do. Here we go. So basically, when you get things from Stampin' Up, you can repurpose it. Use it for all kinds of cool projects. So here are the dies. Here are the dies that came with the Come Sail Away, or let's see what the names of the dies are. Smooth Sailing Dies. And in there was a stitched banner. Okay? Now, it's not that you can't stitch with your Brother ScanNCut, because you can, but it's not in this level of detail and not this small and not this easily. I just like when dies do things. A lot of times I don't use the dies to cut out my stamped images. In this case, I do like how the boat works. I use the dies for the other shapes, like this didn't come in the stamp set. So anyway, that's where I got that die. Let's not digress. Go back to the projects, okay? So I have cows at going, and I wanted to show you all three kinds of cows and then talk about why that was my female cow in the one project. All right, so then you have cows at going. So I did this cow that was laying down. So that's another project. And then what I did is, taking the coordinating colors of the suite, I decided to make not a pop-up card, but a card with wobble springs. And so I took it one step further, and here's my final project to show you. Let me stand him up. Okay, my cows at going, wobbling cow card. And this is, to send someone, as a thank you, or just any time, just to cheer someone up that's having a hard time. All right, so what I use for that, and I'm trying to find it, it's called the Wink of Stella. Here it is, the glitter pen. Okay, so to make the one cow over here female, I just put glitter on the cow. I don't know if you can see my glitter. I'm trying to, focus there. So basically here, all you have to do is take your Wink of Stella and you brush. Okay, you brush anything you want to brush, and I just brush the white parts. And that way I was trying to make this look like a female cow. Well, of course, she looks like a female cow because this cow has horns. Okay, and then I just didn't want to put glitter on that cow. So it's like he's giving her flowers. And I colored his little boots with Calypso Coral. I colored the little flowers with Flirty Flamingo. And then you saw me use the Flirty Flamingo here and the Smoky Slate for that. Okay, so I used the Perennial, I used Calypso Coral for the background of the card base. I used Balmy Blue, that's why I was telling you the coordinating colors earlier. Balmy Blue. I used the same technique of making these outlines. I used wobble springs, and then I used this punch here, the detailed trio punch, and that's how I make the corners rounded on my cards, and you can cut through both corners there. So I hope you enjoy my cute little cows and how to cut out stamped images with your Brother ScanNCut, and I hope you'll give this project a try. And if you'd like to order any of my products I'm showing you, please use the links in the description below. That's all for now. This is the Papered Chef.